House here this afternoon to watch the first and last place teams in the ACC hookup in a preview of postseason tournament action. The Tar Heels, ranked number 1 in the nation, having a magnificent year at 23-1, Clemson at 500. Earlier this year in Greensboro, North Carolina handed Clemson a 97-75 thrashing with outstanding team play like this. And Clemson coach Bill Foster talks about playing the Tar Heels again.
Well, I think playing them again today, it'll give us another idea about what we can do when we play them in the tournament. We know we're going to play them again. We're the lucky guys. We'll get to play them 6 times in 2 years. But there's some things we can learn. Hopefully we can draw from the 2 games, and it'll help us in the tournament, which will be the important part of the year.
Some of the Clemson injuries are starting to heal now. Guard Vince Hamilton, back from a broken foot, is averaging 14 points a game. And up front, Raymond Jones, a veteran forward, bothered earlier this year by knee injuries, is back and playing well at his forward spot again. Jones is averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds a game for the Tigers. North Carolina, coached by Dean Smith, Clemson by Bill Foster. Today in ACC basketball, it's the Tigers against the Tar Heels. ACC basketball is a presentation of Raycon Sports and Jefferson Pilot Teleproduction. Seeing the Clemson with this afternoon, Bill Foster's Tigers take on the number 1 ranked team in the country, the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Hello, everybody. I'm Fred White. Our analyst today, Jeff Bolden. And Jeff, it's true we have the first and last place teams in the ACC, but I'm sure Dean Smith will be the first to tell you that really isn't helping North Carolina any right now.
Well, for North Carolina, Fred, it's kind of like being the number 1 gunfighter in town. Everybody is out to challenge you. And today it's a healthy Tiger team and a full house that's out to challenge the Tar Heels' number 1 ranking.
And I think you'd have to rate Clemson a dangerous ball club. They are 2-10 in the ACC, but they have lost so many close ball games that you'd have to suspect maybe they're better than their record.
And injuries are so critical to any team. Clemson was off to a great start, 12-2. Then the injuries hit, and they've lost 10 games in a row. And I'm sure Coach Foster is reminding them that the ACC tournament is just 2 weeks around the corner, and they can salvage a good season with success in the tournament.
Clemson is a team that's 10-2 against outside competition, and you have to ask yourself the question, how good is the last place team in the ACC?
Well, I think they're a very good basketball team, and the Atlantic Coast Conference should be very proud of all their teams because they have an outstanding record against outside competition. 99-11, better than 90% against the outside foes. That's an amazing feat.
That is a record that just really is an eye-popper. When you look at a conference that's gone 99-11, so you ask yourself how good is the last place team, then you say how good is the conference. You look at that record, then you have to ask yourself, well, who are some of the teams they've beaten? Let's take a look before we go to commercial here. The ACC has handled some very outstanding basketball teams this year, so we're set to play some basketball here. We have Clemson against North Carolina this afternoon. We'll be back to meet the starting lineups right after you watch this. Tar Heels of North Carolina. At 1 forward will be Sam Perkins, a 6'9 senior averaging 17 points a game. The other forward, Matt Doherty, a 6'8 senior averaging 9 points a contest. In the middle, 6'11 sophomore Brad Doherty averages 11 points a game. And at the guards, Michael Jordan, a 6'6 junior averaging 19 points a contest. At the point for North Carolina, 6'3 sophomore Steve Hayes. Lineup for North Carolina. Now for Bill Foster's Clemson Tigers. Here's the way Bill Foster will send them out this afternoon. Opening at 1 forward, Raymond Jones. He's a 6'8 junior averaging 7 points a contest. The other forward, Anthony Jenkins, a 6'7 sophomore averaging 9 points a game. In the middle, the smallest center in the ACC, 6'6 Murray Jarman, averages 15 points a game. At the guards will be Vincent Hamilton, a 6'4 junior averaging 14 points. And at the point, Warren Wallace, a 6'2 sophomore. There are your starting lineups for this afternoon's game. We'll be back with tip-off after this message from Natural Light.
What's more natural than natural light?
When the sun goes down and the fiesta begins, what's more natural than...
Crowd. The officials here today on the left, John Fogarty. That's Vic Papero in the middle. Larry Lembo on the right will be in charge of it. And Jeff Mullins with a sellout crowd, standing room only on fact on hand here today. you have the feeling it would really be important to Clemson to get it started and get the crowd in the ball game early?
I think it's very important that they get off to a good start. And watching them warm up, Fred, you know, there was a lot of slam dunking going on, a lot of electricity and excitement in the air from the players and the crowd. And, of course, that can be a key factor in the ball game.
And conversely, I'm sure Dean Smith would just love to take the crowd out of it very quickly and settle them all down.
And actually what Clemson has to contend with is a North Carolina team that has been challenged like this time and time again this year, and they've been successful all but one time at Arkansas.
You saw the stat on the series. North Carolina has dominated it. Clemson last one in the 79-80 season. They beat North Carolina here when they were ranked 4th in the nation at that time, 93-76. Earlier this year, again, North Carolina won it in Greensboro, 97-75. And we are set to play some basketball here today. Raymond Jones steps in against Sam Perkins. Tip picked up by Vince Hamilton.
Sam Perkins got the tip, but Vince Hamilton went to the open spot to steal it.
Jones. Now Vince Hamilton nails the first shot of the ballgame.
Vincent Hamilton was injured, but he's come back like a house of fire, playing extremely well since he's been back in the lineup.
When we get a chance, I want to get you a shot of Raymond Jones' haircut. That's a new haircut. I haven't seen one like that this year. Michael Jordan for North Carolina. Brad Doherty. Now Hale to Michael Jordan. The turnaround jumper. He's fouled by Chris Michael. First foul on Michael. First foul of the basketball game.
Clemson starting out in a man-to-man, and Chris Michael, the best defender on the Clemson team, matching up with Michael Jordan. He was right there to bother Jordan on the shot, but he committed the foul.
Dean Smith, his assistant Eddie Fogler, Bill Guthridge, another assistant leaning forward here. Michael Jordan on the free throw line, an outstanding free thrower, 78% shooter on the year. And just seems to get better and better.
Well, he's really been on a scoring binge lately, playing extremely well and really taking charge in certain portions of the game when his team needs it.
Michael Jordan hits both free throws. 2 points for Michael Jordan and a 2-2 tie, and full court pressure from North Carolina, but Clemson's going to beat it this time. Vince Hamilton looking for Michael Jordan as he dribbled the ball.
Fred, I think we need to mention right now that the key to any conference team playing well against North Carolina, or any team for that matter, is handling their pressure. North Carolina does a great job double teaming, and they create a lot of steals and disrupt the other team's offense.
Warren Wallace, Murray Jarman. That's Chris Michael on the wing. Jordan defends. Now Jarman. Wallace, Clemson being very patient with it. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. They're going to have to crank one up here in a minute. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Down low they go, and the shot clock. Raymond Jones takes it back up. Blocked again. Doherty got him twice. Chris Michael throws up a jump hook and gets it.
Brad Doherty with 2 excellent blocks. Chris Michael with a little jump hook inside, high off the glass.
Hale for North Carolina to Matt Doherty. There's the lob down low to Brad Doherty. The shot won't fall. Sam Perkins had it. It's knocked loose. Vince Hamilton brings it out. He's up against Hale with Wallace there, and it's going to be a charging foul. They did not make the bucket, and a good job on defense by Steve Hale.
Not
Nick
good.
Lovett blocking. It's going to go against North Carolina.
Very untypical play for Vincent Hamilton, taking the ball all the way. There was a 3-on-1 break. Steve Hale, I believe, is going to be called for the foul. Hamilton tried to dunk it right over Hale.
First foul on Hale, first foul on North Carolina. It's a 4-2 ball game. Clemson in front by 2. Michael Jordan had committed foul in backcourt before they ever got to the other end of the floor, so that's why they're playing where they are. And Raymond Jones with a slam dunk. 2 points, Raymond Jones, 6-2, Clemson by 4, and to straighten it out for you, Michael Jordan had committed a foul before the ball ever got to the basket.
You can really feel the emotion in the crowd, and you can see it on the Clemson players' faces. They're really playing good, hard basketball. Something's been thrown out on the floor. Coach Bill Foster asked the officials to pick it up.
So play has been stopped here in Littlejohn Coliseum. The official stopping action to make sure the floor is clean. Dean Smith looking on. 17:53 left in our first half. We're just underway. Dean in his 23rd year as the head coach of the Tar Heels. What a career it's been. Brad Doherty. Matt Doherty. Brad Doherty to Matt Doherty. Down low again, Brad Doherty. Got a shot off wild. Matt Doherty rebounds, puts up the jump shot, and gets it. Good work by Matt Doherty. He has 2, and it's 6-4 Clemson.
It's very difficult to rattle North Carolina. They've been here many times before. They're very patient on offense. That time they missed the first shot. Matt Doherty got the rebound follow-up.
Raymond Jones 2-time. Goes to Vince Hamilton. Jones way out on the floor handling the ball. That's Vince Hamilton with a high lob, and he nails it. Vince Hamilton has 4 points. 8-4 Clemson.
It's easy for the fans at home to see how valuable Vince Hamilton is to his team. He's the catalyst. He's the guy that seems to make their offense go.
The pattern we've seemed to notice in North Carolina lately is early in the game, Brad Doherty looks to score very early in contests. That time he did not turn and shoot. He had it down low, didn't shoot it. Now Matt Doherty to Sam Perkins. He draws a crowd.
I'm sure North Carolina in their game planning knows that the other teams are going to concentrate on Jordan and Sam Perkins, and they've been asking the other players to look more aggressively for their shot. There's Michael Jordan with his classic jump shot. Michael Jordan picked up his 4th point of the ball game. That's 8-6, Clemson by 2. Maryland defeated Wake Forest in the first game of our doubleheader here today. That's going to be a charge on Warren Wallace. First foul on Wallace, the 3rd foul on second foul that's made on Clemson. There's that double team we talked about, Fred. That's the first time that Clemson really looked tentative against it. They walked the ball up instead of attacking that double team. Doherty picks up the inbounds pass. Vince Hamilton picks up Matt Doherty. 16:20 left in first half action here. Brad Doherty at the top of the circle. Michael Jordan. Chris Michael got a hand on the ball, tipped it out of bounds. It belongs to North Carolina. Chris Michael with his hands full guarding Michael Jordan. But he's the best athlete on the Clemson team. If anybody can do it, he can. North Carolina very deliberate right now. 28 seconds left on the shot clock. Hale at the top of the circle. Matt Doherty. 18 seconds on the shot clock. They lob inside to Brad Doherty, and the shot is good. Brad Doherty picks up his first 2 points, and we're tied at 8. Sam Perkins was in that area too, and he had drawn a crowd, leaving Doherty open for that high pass. There's a ball tipped right at our statistician, John Madry. Suddenly got in the ball game. And we have a timeout taken here at Little John Coliseum. Timeout comes with 15:46 left in first half action here. The score at the moment, North Carolina 8 and Clemson. Clemson cheerleaders, Fred White along with Jeff Mullins, an 8-8 tie here. Clemson with the basketball. Vince Hamilton fires that high lob off the baseline. That one doesn't fall. Boy, he gets some arch on a shot. He gets a lot of trajectory. That time it wouldn't drop. He hit his first 2. Look at Michael Jordan splashing down the baseline, and the foul is called against Chris Michael of Clemson, his second foul. Michael is so quick. And that's what makes North Carolina so difficult. They've got 2 guys that you really can't guard one-on-one, Jordan and Perkins. And then the other players are so good also that you can't leave them alone either. There's the high lob to Brad Doherty, and he's been scoring, as you mentioned, Fred, very well lately in conference games. 4 points, Brad Doherty, and there's a play you should be able to prevent. North Carolina with their first lead now at 10-8 with 15:19 left in the first half. Raymond Jones alone steps in, puts up the shot, it's good. Raymond Jones picks up his 4th point and ties the game at 10-10. Long way to go in this contest. 15:05 left in first half action here. Clemson staying with the half-court man-to-man defense. When the book is written on this North Carolina season, there's a whistle blowing, the foul call inside. Jeff, I started to say, I hope that there's much attention paid to the role Steve Hale has played in Kenny Smith's absence. Well, Kenny Smith, of course, went out with a broken hand, and he was just playing super, but Steve Hale has come in, and they haven't lost a step and done a great job for North Carolina. First foul on Raymond Jones. Quick look at the Clemson bench. Steve Hale inbounds to Matt Doherty. North Carolina has not gone to their early substitutions as they usually do here. Hale, Brad Doherty, and heavy traffic. The ball knocked loose, and a foul's been called. Murray Jarman came out of there with the basketball, but the foul, Warren Wallace, his second foul. We're still tied at 10-10. Dean Smith signals his basketball team. North Carolina bench saying that he was in the act of shooting, but the officials said no dice, take it out of bounds under the basket.
Michael Jordan lobs it out to Steve Hale, and the Tar Heels put the attack in motion again. Hale from the corner. It's good. Steve Hale picks up his first 2 points of the afternoon, and North Carolina leads by 2 again at 12-10.
In addition to leading the team, that's exactly what Steve Hale has given his team, that great perimeter shooting that he does so well.
Jones, nice feed to Murray Jarman, and what a shot by Murray Jarman. Oh, did he take care of the ball under the basket.
That's what you call a double clutch move. He went up on one side of the basket, showed the ball, and then came in with a little underhand hook shot. Nice move inside.
His first shot, his first 2 points of the afternoon, and we're tied at 12 with 14:05 left in the first half. Vince Hamilton deflecting Matt Doherty's pass. Out of bounds, it belongs to North Carolina. A packed house here at Little John Coliseum. Brad Doherty picks up the pass outside. Now Perkins. And now Hale. Clemson in his zone. Jordan just shoots over it. He's a little strong, and Warren Wallace clears the rebound. Here comes Clemson on the run. Vince Hamilton stops and hits it. Vince Hamilton has a half dozen points, and Clemson's up by 2.
Boy, Hamilton's really playing with the confidence he had last year. He's really aggressively looking for the shot. Sam Perkins down low. He's tough to stop down there.
Sam Perkins with his first shot and his first 2 points of the afternoon, and we're tied at 14 all with 13:30 left in our first half. Wallace right back against Michael Jordan. Matt Doherty double teams. Brad Doherty helps out, and Jarman off the baseline. Ball batted around, loose on the floor. Hamilton trying to save it, can't. It's out of bounds and belongs to North Carolina. Pretty good shooting in this ball game. North Carolina's at 6 out of 9, Clemson 7 out of 11 so far. That is good shooting.
And yet, as we watch that time, as players rolled on the floor, both teams really hustling both ends of the floor.
Now it's North Carolina with a chance to regain the lead with 13-14 left in first half action. Buzz Peterson now in the game for North Carolina, playing a guard with Hale.
You might mention, Fred, that Buzz Peterson had his best game of the year against Clemson earlier this season. I believe he had 19 points.
That's right. There's Peterson off the baseline. A little strong with it. Raymond Jones has the rebound. Clemson with a chance to go in front. Vince Hamilton. Jenkins. Anthony Jenkins' first shot of the day finds the mark, and it's 16-14. Clemson in the lead. 12:40 left in the first half.
Really impressed with the way Clemson is attacking. They're really pushing the ball up the floor offensively, trying to get the opportunity shot.
Now the crowd starting to get into it. Vince Hamilton comes up with a steal, and the crowd here at Little John on its feet. Murray Jarman defended, and Sam Perkins gets a hand on it. Hit the open man who can't shoot. That happened to be me. So they got the ball back on the court where it belonged. We've been in the action a lot already. We've had 2 plays in this game. 12:22 left in first half action here. Vincent Hamilton will handle the inbounds pass. Again, Clemson up by 2. Joe Wolf now enters the North Carolina. Brad Doherty will take a breather. Matt Doherty is out. Cecil Luxem is in. So Dean Smith now beginning to substitute. Jenkins cross court to Hamilton. There's that high arching shot. Doesn't fall. And Exum kicks it out to Buzz Peterson. Here comes North Carolina. Peterson in the corner. Sam Perkins trying to run it down. Vince Hamilton tries to get behind him and steal it. He can't.
Clemson's really playing good, tough defense. They've got their hands full with this North Carolina team, but they're playing very aggressive.
Buzz Peterson holding and looking. 20 seconds left on the shot clock. They lob it to Perkins, and he's fouled by Raymond Jones. There's Raymond Jones' haircut. I haven't seen a haircut like that one before this year.
Raymond Jones was really working on defense here. Sam Perkins got the pass. He went up, got the ball, but he also got the body. He's really playing aggressive. One of the Clemson statisticians looks at me and winks and says, did he really get the ball? But it looked like there was body in there, too.
11:46 left in first half action. Here is Sam Perkins' number. He's an outstanding free throw shooter. And he nails that one. Sam Perkins has 3. And one stat we have to make note of. Clemson has now committed 16 fouls. North Carolina only 1. So the next foul puts the Tar Heels in the 1-and-1. Sam Perkins now with a chance to tie the ball game. Latham, New York, a 6'10 senior, Shaker High School. He's an All-American. 4 points now for Sam Perkins. We have a timeout taken here. This one comes with 11:46 left in first half action, and Clemson holding North Carolina off right now. Our score at the moment, North Carolina 16, Clemson 16. Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, duplication, or reception of this telecast without the express written permission of Raycom Sports, Jefferson Pilot Teleproductions is prohibited. Welcome back. Fred White along with Jeff Mullins. There's your score. And there is the North Carolina bench. 11:46 left in our first half. Hale picks up Vincent Hamilton in backcourt. Now trapping pressure applied by North Carolina. Sam Perkins got a hand on the ball.
Vincent Hamilton did a wise thing there, though. He didn't dribble all the way to the double team, Fred. He passed it before he got there, and that's the way to beat it. And that's what some teams have not been successful doing, but Clemson's been doing a good job of so far today.
Vincent Hamilton working on the wing. Down inside, Raymond Jones turns, and Sam Perkins was right there playing some solid defense against him. Hamilton hits the deck. Both players do, and a foul is charged against Vince Hamilton. The first on Hamilton. Bill Foster not liking it.
You'll see Vincent Hamilton push off with his offhand here on Steve Hale. And, of course, Hale gives it a little bit of an acting job, but it was a foul. The official right there to call it.
Clemson's third turnover of the ball game. North Carolina's been charged with one. There's a lob to Perkins. Outside to Hale. Try to get it inside to Michael Jordan, and Murray Jarman takes it away. Gives to Mark Campbell. 11:07 left in the first half. Murray Jarman having trouble with it. Matt Doherty saves to Hale, and North Carolina takes it away. The fourth turnover charge to Clemson. Michael Jordan to Hale to Sam Perkins. Matt Doherty. A quick move on the baseline by Michael Jordan. Oh.
Michael Jordan with a little head fake one way and then rolled right to the basket. And instead of, like most players, just laying it off the glass, he stuffed it through.
6 points, Michael Jordan. 18-16, North Carolina. 4 points has been the biggest lead in this game. North Carolina has not led by more than 2. Wolf defends against Jarman. Anthony Jenkins hands it to Hamilton, and he got it. Vince Hamilton picks up his 8th point. Some of the crowd cheering here at Littlejohn as the Tigers catch the Tar Heels at 18 with 10:14 left in the first half. Horace Grant set to enter the Clemson lineup. Matt Doherty. Sam Perkins draws the crowd, and a foul is called. Nope, 3-second violation. North Carolina turns it over. Joe Popson and Brad Doherty and Buzz Peterson all into the lineup now for North Carolina. Horace Grant replaces Murray Jarman for Clemson.
Fred, you know, we've seen Clemson play a lot this year, and I think this is the longest stretch I've seen them play man-to-man. They usually like to change their defenses up, but Bill Foster today is saying, I think we're going to just attack all day. Just keep coming at them and see what we can do.
Mark Campbell handling against Buzz Peterson. Raymond Jones, 2-time. Dribbles to the circle, back out it comes. Campbell's got a shot from the top of the key. Mark Campbell can shoot it and picks up his first 2 points, and Clemson goes up by 2 with 9:40 left in the first half. So far, you have to say that Clemson's played very steady basketball.
Well, they've been inspired, and they're playing good, smart basketball, both on the offense and defensive end.
Buzz Peterson, Hale, top of the circle, may have passed up a shot. Now Doherty, he may have passed up another one. Buzz Peterson near the corner, 16 seconds on the shot clock. Hale makes a fake, comes down the baseline and scores. Steve Hale picks up his 4th point. We're tied at 20 now with 9:06 left in the first half.
Very rarely does Steve Hale try to generate his own offense, but he knew there was little time left on the clock. They had to have a basket. He showed what he could do.
They gave Anthony Jenkins a wide open shot, and that's a sure 2 points usually.
One of the best spot shooters in the league, without question. When he's open, he'll bury it.
22-20, Clemson by 2 with 8:44 left in the first half. Hobson to Matt Doherty. Outside it comes to Buzz Peterson. Brad Doherty right back out to Peterson. Clemson got a hand on it.
Clemson really active with their hands on defense, getting a lot of hands up, blocking passes, deflecting passes. That time they caused the travel.
There's a walk charged to Buzz Peterson, so Clemson's defense pays a dividend. North Carolina turns it over with 8:25 left in the first half. Steve Hale going out. Michael Jordan returning to the North Carolina lineup now. 22-20, Clemson with the basketball and a 2-point lead. Mark Campbell will bring it up for the Tigers. Vince Hamilton. Anthony Jenkins all alone. Nails it again. He has 6 points. If you're going to let him have that shot, he's going to hurt you.
That cross-court pass, something that was taboo 10 years ago in basketball, but that time they used it very well.
A walk against Brad Doherty. North Carolina turns it over. So Clemson gets it back, leading by 4. Bill Foster liking what he's seeing so far in this basketball game. Let's remind you, there's a long, long way to go. We are only in first half action here. North Carolina now has turned it over 5 times, Clemson 4. Hamilton got a hand on the inbounds pass that was deflected and still belongs to Clemson. 8:02 left in the first half.
Horace Grant, the freshman, throwing it in, and Vincent Hamilton very wisely says, hey, let me throw it in. I've got experience. I can get it in.
We missed a chance to get it to Mark Campbell, but Anthony Jenkins picks it up in the open court. Gives to Campbell. His shot, good, but a walk. Clemson turned it over before the shot went up. The basket doesn't count. Still 24-20, Clemson by 4. Look at Dean Smith's record, 519 wins at North Carolina. I tell you what, they have taken on the best the country has to offer year in and year out.
And you know, you can't replace that winning tradition. When the players think they're going to win, the alumni, and of course Dean Smith does, it's tough to combat that, and that's what Clemson's challenge is today.
Sam Perkins shot no good. A foul's called down inside. But I think you can add to that, Jeff, that most of the time, down deep inside, the other team probably thinks you're going to win.
And that's the key to today's game. Clemson playing very well right now. They've got a lot of emotion in the game, but you know, emotion tends to wear off. And when fatigue sets in, Fred, that's when we'll see if Clemson can stay with them.
Here's Horace Grant's foul.
Very difficult to bother Sam Perkins on his shot. He went up real close, got a little too close that time.
Perkins 2 for 2 on the line with 4 points in the game. Now has 5. Again, he's an 85% free throw shooter, averaging 17 points and 10 rebounds a game. Sam. Makes it 4 straight from the free throw line and 6 points in the ball game. And now a timeout taken here at Littlejohn Coliseum with 7:45 left in first half action. Our score now, Clemson 24, North Carolina 22. In North Carolina at 3 p.m. An outstanding doubleheader in ACC basketball. Some shooting in this ball game so far, Jeff.
Both teams shooting extremely well, and that would lead you to think that they're not playing good defense, Fred, but quite the contrary. Sitting right down here on the court, you can really see the intensity from both teams.
North Carolina shooting 75% right now, Clemson 71%, and you have to mention with saying that Clemson shot 67% in Charlottesville Tuesday night and lost a basketball game.
There's the first critical turnover. Mark Campbell to Michael Jordan, but Campbell gets it back.
They exchange the steals at the North Carolina end of the court. So Clemson still up by 2, has the basketball with 7:28 left in the first half. Brad Doherty comes out to cover Jarman. Now Horace Grant, the freshman's all alone, and carries one. Horace Grant with his first 2 points. 26-22, and both ball clubs are really just sticking in here right now.
I don't believe I've seen Clemson shoot better from the floor than they are this game at all this season.
Matt Doherty, nice fake. The shot's up and good. Matt Doherty picks up his 4th point of the ball game. 26-24 Clemson, 6:58 left in first half action here. Brad Doherty windmilling the arms and yelling at Murray Jarman. Oh, North Carolina really gets right in your shirt, don't they?
A lot of hands, a lot of movement. They really try and harass the fellow with the ball. There goes Murray Jarman to the basket.
Well, the shot didn't fall. They put up a nice soft running hook, and the ball belongs to Clemson off the rebound. You know, looking at Michael Jordan sitting courtside, he looks like a very slender, lithe fellow, but you look at his shoulders and arms. Boy, he packs some muscle on that frame.
He's got the perfect basketball body. He really doesn't look 6'6" either until you see him jump and get up above the rim as he does.
There's a bad pass. Mark Hamill trying to hit somebody off the baseline, and everybody cut away from the ball. They were running away from it that time, and North Carolina with another chance to get it tied with 6:25 left in the first half here at Littlejohn. Brad Doherty. Sam Perkins down the lane, blocked by Anthony Jenkins. Murray Jarman knocks it to the floor. Jenkins picks it up. Having trouble controlling it now, gets to Vince Hamilton. And they try to find Jarman off the baseline, and it's off his hands and out of bounds. And North Carolina gets it back.
All of a sudden, it's getting a little sloppy for Clemson. They've been pushing the ball up the floor, and this is where we might say fatigue. The tempo of the game has really been going. Hamilton's played the whole game. Murray Jarman the whole game. It could be a factor.
Clemson's turned it over 8 times. North Carolina 6 so far in this game. Glenn McCants set to enter the Clemson lineup. 5:57 left in the first half as the Tar Heels try to get it tied here. There's Perkins inside. The ball taken away by Chris Michael. We've got a foul call to kick against North Carolina. Not a foul. A call kicking the ball against North Carolina. Clemson keeps it.
An excellent job that time of double teaming. Sam Perkins had Raymond Jones one-on-one down low, but Michael came over with his quick hands and knocked the ball away.
Inbounds pass picked up by Mark Hamill. 5:48 left in first half action here at Clemson. North Carolina had a brief lead at 2 points. Clemson has led most of the way here in the first half. They've got Raymond Jones down in there, and a foul is called against North Carolina. The basket did not fall.
Mark Campbell with a very heady play that time. Saw Raymond Jones busting back door and really threaded the needle with the pass. Jones goes up. You can see he's fouled from behind by Sam Perkins.
First foul on Sam Perkins. That is just the second foul charged to North Carolina in this game. Raymond Jones on the line. Five points for Raymond Jones.
It's good to see Raymond Jones playing good, alert basketball. He came into this league as a freshman with a very promising future, and injuries have really held him back, but he's playing well now.
28-24. Clemson has matched their biggest lead at 4. It's been that kind of a basketball game here today. Steve Hale picking pressure from the Clemson defense up. Jordan to Hale to Brad Doherty to Matt Doherty. Hale. Matt Doherty's shot won't fall. Michael had the rebound. Now Clemson battling comes out with it. Mark Hamill picks it up. Michael picks it up on the run. Has trouble with it. Now to Jones to Mark Hamill. Clemson with a 4-point lead in the basketball. 5:05 left in the first half. Raymond Jones spins by Doherty. Tried to get the ball to McCants. Was picked off by North Carolina. Steve Hale brings it up quickly on the wing and then holds it up. As Joe Wolf outside. Now Michael Jordan in the lane. Soft jumpers up and good. Michael Jordan has 8. 28-26. Clemson by 2.
All of a sudden, the pressure defense of North Carolina starting to take its toll on Clemson.
Mark Hamill to Glenn McCants. Jeff, you said before the ball game that you would be very surprised at the stuff by Glenn McCants. You said you'd be very surprised if this was not a close basketball game, at least for the first half, and so far you've hit it right on the nose.
Well, you can really feel the excitement in the crowd. You can see it on the players' faces. Clemson's playing with a lot of emotion.
Michael Jordan won't fall. Wolf can't get the tip. And a foul is called against Brad Doherty of North Carolina. And Clemson really battling the Tar Heels on even terms right now. The first on Brad Doherty, the third on North Carolina. Glenn McCants is out. Murray Jarman back in for the Tigers. 4:08 left in the first half. Clemson with a chance to go up by 6.
Brady, you can really tell this is a different Clemson team than we've seen times before. When the injuries were really confusing them, they looked puzzled. Today they're playing aggressive. They seem to know what they're doing, and they're playing good, hard basketball.
Cecil Luxem has replaced Michael Jordan now in the North Carolina lineup. Mark Hamill with the basketball for Clemson. Murray Jarman. Campbell off the wing. Struck. Mark Hamill has 4. Now a 6-point lead to Clemson. The biggest lead they've held. The crowd getting more and more into it as we go along. 3:41 left in the first half here. Hale to Hale, takes the set shot out of the key and nails it.
Good play by Sam Perkins that time. He got the ball in down low, but there were two Clemson players crowding him. He punched it out to Hale, and Hale did what he does so well, hit the outside jumper.
Murray Jarman to Mark Campbell. Buzz Peterson with him. Now Hamilton's going to take the jumper. Good. Vince Hamilton has 10, and Clemson shooting the lights out right now. 6-point lead to the Tigers, 3:10 left in the half.
Every time it seems like Clemson's going to break, they bounce back and hit some tough outside shots, but they are playing inspired.
Buzz Peterson from the top of the circle. Good. First 2 points for Buzz Peterson. Well, these teams are matching baskets right now, Jeff.
Well, you know one thing, North Carolina isn't going to fold. They're going to be there right at the final buzzer, and Clemson knows that too. This is going to be 40 minutes of basketball.
Jarman needs some help. Finds Raymond Jones. Now there's a steal. C selects him. 2 points, C selects him, and a 2-point lead for Clemson with 2:28 left in the first half. Gambling defense in North Carolina's paying off.
North Carolina gets so much of their good offense out of their defense, as many good basketball teams do, and that's one of the few easy shots they've gotten today.
Raymond Jones was fouled as he tried to get the shot away. Sam Perkins draws his second foul. That is just number 4 on North Carolina. We have timeout taken here as you look at Bill Foster, the Clemson coach. Timeout comes with 2:16 left in the first half. Clemson with a 2-point lead over North Carolina. Together at Greensboro, North Carolina really red hot that night, shooting 68%. Clemson shot the ball pretty well, but they lost by 22 points. And now look what they're doing here today. Clemson just blistering the thing, and North Carolina really shooting well.
Well, there's no question, Fred. This is not the same Clemson team we've been seeing all season when they were riddled with injuries. They're back. They're healthy now. And, of course, one of the main reasons is Vincent Hamilton. He's 5 for 7 from the floor, 10 points. And he's the guy that seems to get the excitement back in the Clemson offense.
2:16 left in first half action. Clemson with a 2-point lead and the basketball. Chris Michael is headed for the bench. They substituted for him after they were set to restart the game. Vince Hamilton, Murray Jarman with a quick turnaround jumper. Too strong with the try. Oh, what a shot.
Anthony Jenkins is an offensive machine. He's a great outside shooter, but he's got an excellent touch around the basket as he reached under 2 North Carolina players to make the basket.
8 points now for Anthony Jenkins. They left Matt Doherty all alone, and he gets one. Matt Doherty now has a half dozen points. 36-34 Clemson. 1:48 left in first half action here at Clemson. Mark Campbell defended by Michael Jordan. Now Vince Hamilton. Hale has it. And we've got a foul against Steve Hale. The first on Hale. The 5th on North Carolina. Now Horace Grant returns to the Clemson lineup. Raymond Jones is going to get a little break. There's the freshman from Sparta, Georgia, who has a twin brother who's redshirted here.
Coach Bill Foster has to be very happy to see Raymond Jones playing as well as he is today, particularly with the tournament just 2 weeks away.
Mark Campbell, Jenkins, Hamilton. Now Murray Jarman made a dangerous pass. Grant gets it out of there. Hamilton with that high lob from the corner, and Horace Grant tips it back up and in for his 4th point.
Can you imagine when he has his twin brother out there? Those two guys, 6'10", great athletes. They've got a lot of basketball skills to work on, but they are great athletes.
They were not highly recruited. They're twin brothers out of Sparta, Georgia, and again, Harvey's redshirted this year. Horace is playing. Hale. Matt Doherty with a 1:03 left in the first half. Michael Jordan. Boy, he can shoot. Michael Jordan now has 10 points.
People at home say, well, how does Michael Jordan get that open? One reason is he gets so high off the ground, nobody else plays up there.
And stays there for a while. Just in case you go up with him, he might stay there longer than you. Here's Michael Jordan all alone. Woo-hoo! A dozen points for Michael Jordan. We're tied at 38. A little message in that, maybe.
Somebody ought to put together a highlight film on Michael Jordan's dunks this year, because he's had quite a few, and that was one of the best.
28 seconds left in the first half. Clemson has played a good first half, and you know Bill Foster would like to see him finish this half on a positive note now.
Well, he'll have a lot of positive things to talk about at halftime if they can go in there tied or ahead of this North Carolina team.
Vince Hamilton's shot won't fall. Michael Jordan clears the rebound. North Carolina with a chance to grab the lead. 7 seconds left in the half, and Matt Doherty puts North Carolina in front with his 8th point. Murray Jarman at midcourt puts up a shot. It is no good. And one half of good basketball just came to an end here at Little John Coliseum. Bill Foster maybe not liking the way his club finished the half, but they were playing strongly throughout most of this half, and North Carolina will take a 40-38 lead down to the locker room here at halftime. Good half of basketball, Jeff.
It was an excellent half of basketball, and Clemson has a lot of good things to talk about. However, the last 2 times down the floor, a Michael Jordan steal and then a bad shot by Vincent Hamilton gave 2 fast break opportunities to North Carolina, which could be a key in the second half.
First half of this thing.
Well, Clemson for North Carolina getting some of his baskets out of his defense. Of course, he had that great steal and dunk. And Matt Doherty, he only averages about 8 points a game this year, but he can score when they need him, and there was a stretch there where they really needed his shooting. He took charge and hit a couple baskets from the outside.
Brad Doherty has 4 points. Peterson and Exum each have 2, and for Clemson University. Here's the way their individual scoring looks here. Hamilton, who got into it early, has 10 points, lead him at halftime, and Anthony Jenkins. They left him alone for a while, and he knocked some shots down, has 8.
Well, and the one thing about Clemson, their inspired play, they've gotten 18 points from Hamilton and Jenkins, mostly outside baskets, usually a little tougher to sustain. Let's see how hard and how good Clemson can sustain it the second half.
There again is your halftime score. Have they either side done anything defensively that's surprised you a little bit?
Well, I've been surprised that they stayed with the man-to-man exclusively, and usually at this point in the game, North Carolina will have somebody in foul trouble, but Clemson's okay. They've got 3 guys with 2 fouls, but they don't have anybody in serious foul trouble, and Bill Foster, as I said, just wants to come out and attack and play as aggressive as he can. Very little zone out of Clemson today.
Here's something for you to think about. On 16 occasions this year, Clemson has had a player foul out of a game. North Carolina has seen that happen only 4 times. 3 times it was Brad Doherty, once Michael Jordan. Nobody else has fouled out of a game for North Carolina all year. And I think that says something about how Dean Smith kind of takes care of things in the course of the game.
I've seen games, particularly with Perkins and Jordan, where if they get 2 fouls in the first half, Coach Smith puts them on the bench. He doesn't want his key players in foul trouble.
There's Sam Perkins. Well, they quickly went to him to open the second half, and he now has 8 points. And it's a 4-point lead for North Carolina. That is their biggest lead of the game. Warren Wallace. Raymond Jones.
Traditionally, this is when North Carolina really intensifies their defense. They come out very aggressive, usually at the start of the second half.
Raymond Jones misses a wide open shot. They've got Sam Perkins up court. Warren Wallace is back there with him, and Sam Perkins says, we'll just hold it up and run some offense here. North Carolina up by 4. Michael Jordan down low, fakes once, takes the jump shot, doesn't fall. And Matt Doherty saves the rebound for North Carolina, right back to Michael Jordan. He's bothered inside. Sam Perkins gets a hand on it, and it belongs to Clemson. Sam Perkins, now they're going to give it to North Carolina. Sam Perkins say, hey, it was off Warren Wallace. And the official agreeing.
The official corrected himself right away, made the right call. It happened right in front of us. North Carolina will keep the basketball.
Steve Hale, Matt Doherty. Looked at Sam Perkins, couldn't get it there. Now they have Brad Doherty down inside, and he's fouled by Raymond Jones. They were all tangled up. And Raymond Jones commits his 3rd foul. So just as we start the second half, now Raymond Jones has 3.
One of the few times Clemson has been in a zone, they're in a 2-3 zone. Hale threads the needle, gets it into Doherty. He's fouled before he shoots. That's 3 fouls on Raymond Jones, who's had a fine afternoon for Clemson.
Matt Doherty, there's a lob, and they got tangled up on the baseline. Brad Doherty can't score. Sam Perkins can. Michael Jordan and Brad Doherty were both there when the lob came in.
North Carolina deciding after halftime to attack inside. Every time down the floor, they've been taking it down low where they do have a height advantage. Here's a high lob to Murray Jarman. It wouldn't go.
Carolina up by 6. Hale to Michael Jordan. Cross court to Matt Doherty. Sam Perkins. I think Brad Doherty has been called for a foul. He has. North Carolina will turn it over. That's the 2nd foul on Brad Doherty. 18-21 left in this basketball game, and you sense this is an important stretch right here for Clemson.
I was just thinking as you said that, Fred, this is an important time down the floor for Clemson. They need to get on the board and hold this North Carolina team down.
They have battled the Tar Heels on even terms so far. They went to halftime down by 2. At the moment, they're down by 6, and they haven't done anything so far in the second half, so they need something positive. Good defense by Perkins. That's going to be a closely guarded call, and they force the turnover, and Clemson doesn't get anything with their possession.
And give credit to North Carolina. Ever since the halftime buzzer went off, they've been out aggressively playing defense. That time, Raymond Jones just couldn't find a teammate open to pass the ball to.
Good defense by Sam Perkins, and again, North Carolina with a 6-point lead in the ball. Michael Jordan, Matt Doherty. Michael Jordan on the baseline. Up, tip try, won't go, and Murray Jarman clears the rebound. Wallace against Michael Jordan.
North Carolina doing a good job of keeping the ball out of Vincent Hamilton's hands. He just can't seem to get the ball in scoring position, but he's open now.
Hamilton all alone gets the shot down. 12 points for Vincent Hamilton. 44-40 North Carolina with 17:22 left in the basketball game. Matt Doherty against Hamilton. Hale. Now Clemson on the defense here. Hale against Warren Wallace. Joe Wolf. Now Matt Doherty had a screen from Michael Jordan. Didn't take the shot. Michael Jordan. Shot is good.
Nice pass from Sam Perkins, and good discipline that time by Sam. He had two players around him. He kept looking for an open teammate. Michael Jordan cut to the basket, and he hit him.
14 points now for Michael Jordan. 6-point lead to North Carolina. 16:39 left in the game. Raymond Jones, Vince Hamilton. Ball hit the official. He's in play. Has a break to Clemson. Murray Jarman going down the baseline, had nowhere to go with it, but does save it, gets it back to Warren Wallace. Now we have a whistle blowing, and Murray Jarman may have hurt himself. Well, he and Sam Perkins apparently were in a collision. Perkins and Jarman are both shaken up, and Perkins is on the floor. They must have had a collision after Jarman got rid of the pass. To be honest with you, I did not see it, but let's watch here.
Sam got over to try and draw the charge. Murray Jarman was in the air. They both bumped, and they're both aching a little bit. Sam's still on the floor.
Sam Perkins now getting to his feet. Limping a bit as he goes off. You have to be a little concerned about that. Murray Jarman flexing his right leg as he stands near the Clemson bench. So Sam Perkins is going to come out of there. He's holding, I think, his left ankle, and he appears to be in some pain on the bench, Jeff. He really appears to be hurting right now as we look across the way at him. Now he has his hand on his left knee. He reached down at one point and grabbed his ankle. They're going to put an ice bag on his left knee. So that has to give you some worry right there.
Jarman was really flying through the air, and it looked like he might have kicked Sam Perkins. Whatever it is, Sam is in pain on the bench.
Carolina nearly forced another turnover. We'll keep an eye on Sam Perkins for you. He has an ice bag on the left knee at the moment. 16-17 left in this game. 46-40 North Carolina. Clemson with the basketball. Hamilton takes the rising jumper off the baseline. He's short with it. Murray Jarman has it. The jump hook short. And Matt Doherty has a rebound. Here come the Tar Heels with a 6-point lead. Hill drives to the right wing, gives back to Wolf. He's short. Tip up won't fall. And Jones has the rebound for Clemson. To Warren Wallace. Anthony Jenkins. Murray Jarman shoots over Brad Doherty. It won't fall. Raymond Jones had it, but it's out of bounds, and it's going to be North Carolina basketball.
2 times in a row, Clemson would have liked to take advantage of the fact that Sam Perkins was on the bench. They rushed their shot a little bit.
We have a timeout taken here at Little John Coliseum with 15:41 left in this basketball game. It's now North Carolina 46, Clemson 40. Fred White along with Jeff Mullins. We're at Clemson, South Carolina. We've got a ball game going. North Carolina up by 6. Matt Doherty needs to clear it and does to Michael Jordan. Sam Perkins continues to rest that ice pack on his left knee as he sits on the North Carolina bench. Fouled in the lane, and it's going to go against Clemson. Mark Campbell now re-entering the Tiger lineup. Warren Wallace will sit down, and here comes Sam Perkins back in the ballgame. That's good news for North Carolina.
Looked like Michael Jordan was just getting ready to take over. He's had stretches in each of his last few games where he really goes on scoring binges. I thought he was going to do that with Sam on the bench.
Lob inbounds to Matt Doherty. Michael Jordan on the wing to Hale. Got a pretty nice shot and pass it up. Now tried to throw the lob, and there wasn't anybody there. Horace Grant picks it off for Clemson. Here come the Tigers, down by 6. Grant, the freshman. Long bounce pass to Campbell from the deep corner. The shot won't fall, and Clemson all of a sudden having a lot of problems shooting the basketball here, Jeff.
They're not getting those opportunity shots when they break the North Carolina defense like they did earlier in the game, and North Carolina doing a good job of keeping the ball out of Hamilton's hands.
Michael Jordan, shot a little soft and doesn't fall. Anthony Jenkins picks the rebound off. So North Carolina missing some chances to extend the lead, too. Now the crowd's going to get up and try to encourage this Clemson ball club. Horace Grant. There's a bump. Michael Jordan draws his second foul of the ball game.
Clemson has been executing a weak side pick trying to spring Vincent Hamilton for the jump shot. That time he came out, Jordan tried to steal the pass, but they've been keeping the ball out of Hamilton's hands, and that really cuts down on the Clemson offense.
Vince Hamilton from the deep corner, too strong with it. Raymond Jones is there, and he's going to be called for a double dribble. The ball goes back to North Carolina. And really, right now, Jeff, we're in a strength stretch where neither club is getting anything done.
After shooting so well the first half, Clemson's gone down the floor 4 times now and missed fairly easy shots. Big baskets for their team.
Hale backs it out. Michael Jordan. A dozen points, and North Carolina leads by 8.
North Carolina 4 for 10 in the second half. Clemson 1 for 8 from the floor after a brilliant first half shooting exhibition.
Grant steps down the lane and loses the ball. Here comes North Carolina with a chance to go up by 10. Michael Jordan, nice shovel to Doherty to Sam Perkins for the stuff. Sam Perkins has 14 points, and the Tar Heels really handled it well on the break.
North Carolina executing the fast break. Notice how under control they were. Not really flying down the floor. Bodies well under control. Sam Perkins ends up with a high percentage shot.
So North Carolina has opened up a 10-point lead here. Anthony Jenkins tries it from the deep corner. It won't fall. And look at Michael Jordan up to scrape a rebound on. He was up there. Matt Doherty runs the floor, misses the shot. Oh, what a tip. It won't fall. Michael Jordan got it back up there, but Sam Perkins clears the rebound.
North Carolina really aggressive on the board, sensing that this is the time to put on the kill. Clemson 1 for 10 now for the floor, from the floor in the second half.
Michael Jordan, nice feed to Hale for the layup. Steve Hale picks up his 8th point and a good feed from Michael Jordan, and suddenly North Carolina has bolted to a 12-point lead. Clemson has scored just 2 points in 7 minutes and 7 seconds here in the second half. So it has been a long dry spell for the Clemson Tigers. Vince Hamilton, nice fake, jumpers up, and no good. They're 1 for 11. Horace Grant trying to take it away from Brad Doherty. The ball is out of bounds, and they're going to give the ball to North Carolina. Clemson doesn't like the call. They thought that Brad Doherty hit it last. Bill Foster, the Tiger coach.
Bill Foster really cheering for his team. Can't believe that call. He knows every possession so critical for his team, and they need his support right now.
Does Peterson's replaced Hale.
It looked like it was off Grant's shoulder, but then Doherty might have touched it as it went out of bounds.
North Carolina leading 52-40, 12:38 left in the ball game. Having a little problem getting everything sorted out here right now. Is there a question on who's guarding whom? I believe they wanted a center lineup. That's the first time this year I've seen one of those.
You used to have that so many times in the old days to see who you're guarding. You hardly ever see that anymore.
52-40 North Carolina, 12:30 left in the first half.
North Carolina has outscored Clemson 12-2. Vincent Hamilton in front of the pack.
Hamilton drills it. And Vincent Hamilton gets his 14th point of the game. It's a 10-point lead to North Carolina with 12:15 left in the game.
One of the few times this game that Clemson's defense has started their offense as it did that time.
Exum wanting some help, finds Buzz Peterson.
Bill Foster deciding he wants to change the defense. Clemson in a 2-3 zone now for the first time this second half.
Boy, North Carolina has really used that cross-court pass well in this game. There's Wolf in the middle with the ball. Now Out to Buzz Peterson. 8 seconds on the shot clock. The Tar Heels are going to have to put it up. Wolf out of the lane. Jumper to stop. And will that thing count if it goes in? There's a foul down in there, and it's going to go against Sam Perkins, I believe. The foul has been called against North Carolina. No, it was Cecil Lexham that they called a foul on. It's his first foul call. And now we have the timeout called here at Littlejohn. This one comes with 11:38 left in the basketball game. It is now North Carolina 52, Clemson 42. We're back after this from Bud. Afternoon, Maryland beat Wake Forest 90-79 at College Park today. Michigan State over Indiana 57-54. Big help to Purdue, who beat Illinois yesterday. Missouri nipped Oklahoma State in double overtime in a Big 8 game, 65-64. Here, with 11:38 left, North Carolina up by 10, and the Tar Heels establishing some control of this game here, Jeff.
Well, they came out the second half, as they traditionally have done, very aggressive defensively, and with the purpose of getting the ball in offensively inside to attack. Clemson could not get the ball in bounds. Horace Grant, again, the freshman, taking the ball out of bounds. He's had problems with that earlier this year.
Peterson lobs way outside to Matt Doherty. North Carolina 6 for 14 shooting in the second half. Clemson just 2 for 11 as Matt Doherty gets an air ball from the top of the circle. Now here's Clemson down by 10 and a chance to battle her way back into things. Jones, Raymond Jenkins. Ooh, long shot. He nailed it. Raymond Jenkins just really simplified the offense that time.
Michael Jordan was right there with a hand up on defense, but Anthony Jenkins can really stick the outside shot, as we've said so often.
Like I said, Raymond Anthony Jenkins, a 6'7" sophomore, he can shoot. That's Buzz Peterson answering for North Carolina. 4 points, Buzz Peterson. 11 minutes left in the game, 54-44, North Carolina. Murray Jarman set to return for Clemson. Steve Hale set to re-enter the game for North Carolina. North Carolina in a zone at the moment. Mark Hamill directing the Clemson attack. Grant's got a shot right there. He'll take it, and he got it. Horace Grant, the freshman, picks up his 6th point of the day. And again, Clemson within 8 points of North Carolina with 10:38 left in the game. Sam Perkins.
Sam Perkins wide open at the top of the key. It's unusual for him to pass that up. He's an excellent outside shooter.
Heavy traffic there now. Gets it to Michael Jordan on the baseline, and he's fouled. Good pass from Sam Perkins. Boy, do they complement one another?
They sure do. They seem to know where they are, and of course both players receive the ball very well. Jordan, when he gets it that close to the basket, double clutching, you can't stop him. He was fouled in the act.
Anthony Jenkins draws his 2nd personal foul. The team fouls even at 3 apiece here in the second half. Michael Jordan on the line, 2 for 2 at the free throw line, 14 points in the game. His parents here watching today, they, I guess, attend every North Carolina game. They made the trip from Wilmington, North Carolina, over on the coast. Free throw good. Michael Jordan with 16 points. 56-46 North Carolina. Oh, they got a long pass to Jenkins. Anthony Jenkins runs it home. 12 points, Anthony Jenkins, and again the 8-point lead to the Tar Heels.
With the exception of that one spurt by North Carolina, this has been a very even ball game.
Peterson, Michael Jordan, the ball's knocked loose. Perkins is right there, can't get it, has it again, and he's going to draw the foul that time. And North Carolina now starting to get those 2nd and 3rd chances off the offensive board.
Doing a good job, and Murray Jarman just goes out for Clemson. He looked at his coach and shook his head, and he's got his knee bandaged from that collision earlier, and he said, no, I can't go. It looks like he may be going to the locker room.
They're going to take Murray Jarman to the locker room and take a further look at his knee. Sam Perkins in the same collision went down. He's back in the game. And on the free throw line right now, Perkins, 14 points in the game, has hit all 4 field goal attempts in the second half. 6'10" senior from Latham, New York. 15 points for Sam Perkins.
When you play the #1 team in the country, Fred, what can happen so often is they wear you down. They wear you down on the offensive end. They wear you down on the defensive end. I think that's what we're seeing with this great North Carolina team. Clemson's put up a game effort, and they're still in it, but they're having trouble right now with North Carolina.
Sam Perkins has 10 in the second half, 16 in the game, and North Carolina's up by 10 with 9:51 left in the basketball game. Michael Jordan Bothering Mark Campbell. Now Raymond Jones goes in and scores. Raymond Jones has 8, and right now Clemson handling the Carolina pressure.
Mark Campbell should have tried out for quarterback the way he's threaded the needle on those last 2 passes, but he very alertly looked up the floor, and it resulted in an easy basket for Clemson.
Tar Heels by 8, 9:28 left in the game. Brad Doherty to Hale. Vince Hamilton with him. Brad Doherty turns into heavy traffic and is called for traveling. Good defense by Clemson in the lane.
Excellent defense by Clemson. That's their challenge now. They've got their offense back on track. They've got to stop this great North Carolina team.
Clemson with a chance to cut it to a 6-point deficit here. Campbell working against Michael Jordan. Horace Grant. He's two-time. Back to Campbell it comes. Anthony Jenkins from long range. Won't go, and Sam Perkins clears the rebound, and here comes Carolina up by 8. 8:59 left in the game. Again, the Tar Heels showing great patience. They have such poise.
Clemson in the 2-3 zone, trying to stay in it. Matt Doherty goes to the basket.
The ball is loose. Matt Doherty picks it up, gets to Brad Doherty, and Anthony Jenkins blocked his shot from behind. Clemson comes out of it with the basketball. Another chance to get within 6. Grant. Vince Hamilton. Raymond Jones shoots over Perkins, scores. It's going to count. He was fouled. And you have a feeling right now that Clemson's starting to believe that they can come back in this game.
You've got to believe in yourself, and all of a sudden Clemson playing inspired defense at one end of the court. Raymond Jones says, I want the ball inside. He made an excellent move on Sam Perkins. The quick little turnaround shot. You could see the contact on the wrist.
That's 3 fouls on Sam Perkins. That's the Clemson bench with a little more hope right now. Carolina up by 6. Raymond Jones with 10 points on the contest, trying to cut it to 5. It's in and out and in again, and it's a 5-point lead to North Carolina with 8:19 left in the basketball game. Michael Jordan is underneath, and a tip up by Brad Doherty. 6 points to Brad Doherty and a big offensive rebound. Again, the 7-point lead to North Carolina. 8:02 left in the ball game. Mark Campbell, Vince Hamilton, the ball knocked loose, and Steve Hale takes it away. Gets to Michael Jordan. Matt Doherty, Brad Doherty in the lane. The jumper too strong. Hale picks it up long. Michael Jordan on the baseline, had a shot and turned it down. 7:40 left in the basketball game.
North Carolina so patient on offense. Michael Jordan opened in the corner. He decided it's time to settle his team down, look for the better shot.
Matt Doherty, Michael Jordan. Matt Doherty again. There's Sam Perkins in heavy traffic. The ball knocked loose by Raymond Jones and picked up by Vincent Hamilton. So Clemson, another chance to get within 5 with 7 minutes and 12 seconds left in the game. Horace Grant. Raymond Jones, the ball's knocked loose. Anthony Jenkins whips it to Vince Hamilton for the jumper, and it's good. Vincent Hamilton now has 16 points. It's a 5-point lead for North Carolina. 6:54 left in the game. Clemson staying with the number 1 ranked team in the country. Raymond Jones got a hand on it. Carolina keeps it.
Clemson in the 2-3 zone. They're still stacking it way in, trying to keep the ball out of North Carolina's hands down low, making them shoot the outside shot.
Hale takes the jumper, in and out. Raymond Jones clears the rebound. And Clemson could get within 3 with 6:25 left in the game. Mark Campbell pushing it up. Hamilton from the deep, deep corner buries one. Vincent Hamilton has 18, and the Tigers are coming back. They're within 3. 6:14 left in the game, and listen to the crowd in Littlejohn.
North Carolina done a good job of quieting Vincent Hamilton, and all of a sudden he gets open for 2 jumpers in a row, and listen to the crowd.
There's the lob to Brad Doherty. Big play for North Carolina, 8 for Brad Doherty, and with 5:55 left, the Tar Heels are up by 5 points.
2 big baskets for North Carolina by Brad Doherty. The alley-oop that time, the tip in a moment ago when Michael Jordan missed the drive.
Raymond Jones. Mark Campbell takes the jumper. Short with a try, and Brad Doherty picks the rebound up, and here come the Tar Heels up by 5 with 5:33 left in the game. Hale sets the offense. Sam Perkins. He has a shot, had a notion, decided not to. Matt Doherty with it now. Brad Doherty. Matt Doherty. There's the jumper. Good. Matt Doherty picks up his 10th point of the ball game, and it's a 7-point lead to North Carolina with 5:05 to play. A minute from now, North Carolina will get the ball probably with the lead, and the shot clock will go off.
North Carolina just dropped back in a 2-3 zone one of the few times this afternoon that they've played zone. Vince Hamilton with his shot, but it won't go.
Raymond Jones can't control the tip. It's out of bounds, belongs to North Carolina. Glenn McCants and Chris Michael return to the lineup for Clemson. We have a timeout taken here. Dean Smith's ball club playing well at the moment. 4:49 left in the game, and North Carolina leads Clemson by 7. Back, North Carolina up by 7 over Clemson. 4:49 left. Clemson made a little run at him, Jeff, and North Carolina answered it pretty well.
And as you mentioned, we're getting down to the time when the clock will go off. Only 49 seconds left before the 4-minute mark. North Carolina will probably take the air out of the basketball, and of course they'll continue to attack in that four corners offense. So that'll be a challenge for Clemson, but they're only down 7 points. They've stayed right with the #1 team in the country.
North Carolina with a 7-point lead and the basketball. 4:44 left in the contest. North Carolina led by 2 at halftime. Earlier today, Maryland beat Wake Forest by 11 points in College Park. Here's Sam Perkins. Shot was blocked, and now a foul's been called. The outside official called a foul on Glenn McCants. It's his first personal foul. Team foul number 5 on Clemson in the second half.
3 guys around Sam Perkins. The ball was knocked out of his hand on the way up. The official at half court made the call. Sam will go to the line for 2 free throws. North Carolina, Fred, the #2 team in the country with free throw percentage, hitting better than 79% from the free throw line. And of course, Sam Perkins hitting 85%, one of the leaders.
That is an amazing mark for a team. They're 10 for 10 on the line here in this game today. Sam Perkins, in fact, is 6 for 6 on the line. 16 points in the contest. Free throw is good. Sam Perkins now has 17. 65-57, the 8-point lead to North Carolina. 4:33 left in the game. So the shot clock is no longer a factor in this contest. Sam Perkins 8 for 8 on the free throw line. 18 points in the contest. The shot clock is off. North Carolina leads by 9. Clemson with the basketball. Anthony Jenkins from the deep corner, short with a try. Vince Hamilton puts up a fadeaway shot that won't fall, and Sam Perkins spears the rebound. Here comes North Carolina with a 9-point lead. Matt Doherty gets a screen from Brad Doherty, but decides to run some clock instead of take the shot. Sam Perkins now will shoot it and get it. Sam Perkins playing well here, now has 20 points in the ball game.
So unpredictable. Sam's been open so many times from that same spot. That time he dribbled right up to the defender and took the shot. He can hurt you so many different ways.
11-point lead to North Carolina. Mark Hamill in a little bit of trouble, gets to Raymond Jones. 3:43 left in the basketball game. Tar Heels looking for their 24th win, and if they get it, this will be their 113th win in the last 4 years, and that's a college record. Timeout taken here now. We have 3:36 left in this basketball game. Our score now, North Carolina 68, Clemson 57. Player of the game from each school, and again 3:36 left in the game. North Carolina up by 11. This ACC basketball game brought to you in part by Mazda, by Holly Farms, and by Boss Bakeries. Just to touch on the point, Virginia and North Carolina both had won 112 games in a 4-year stretch. And now North Carolina about to make it 113 wins in a 4-year span, and that is a lot of great basketball.
That'll set a conference record, I believe, 113 games in 4 years. Amazing feat.
11-point lead to the Tar Heels. They hold on and win this one. They're 12-0 in the conference, 24-1 on the year. Horace Grant, Mark Campbell from long range gets it down. Mark Campbell has 6 points, 68-59. Clemson still breathing, 3:23 left in the game. And Bill Foster just spent a timeout. And this one comes now with 3:24 left in this game. We're at Little John Coliseum. We're with 3:24 left. It's now North Carolina up by 9 over Clemson. Back after this from Budweiser. 3:24 left, and I'm looking down the Clemson bench. And I think Murray Jarman is still back in the locker room being tended to.
He's a senior, and of course he's only got one more appearance here for Clemson, so I'm sure he would like to be out on the floors, particularly today.
Matt Doherty to Brad Doherty. And there is a 10-second call. North Carolina did not clear the timeline and required 10 seconds, so Clemson gets it back, still down by 9 with 3:13 left in the game. Tigers still playing hard. In case you joined us and you're wondering why we refer to Murray Jarman, he injured a knee and was taken to the Clemson locker room earlier. Raymond Jones, soft bouncer, won't get there. Sam Perkins, oh, what a save. Nobody's there to pick up the basketball, but Sam Perkins, jumping out of bounds, threw that ball the length of the court.
And what an alert play that it was, Fred. You know, so many times players will jump out and just throw it right back to the closest player, and a lot of times the player will jump in. We got to look at Murray Jarman will be the player on the other team. That way nobody could score except someone on his end of the floor.
Murray Jarman was sitting way down at the end of the bench in the corner, was why we didn't see him. He has an ice pack on his right knee. So we can only hope that he'll be all right. Mark Hamill, Raymond Jones, Anthony Jenkins, 2:39 left in the game. Jenkins off balance, fires, doesn't get it. Oh, a strong tip by Vincent Hamilton. Are they going to count it? Vince Hamilton gets the basket, and a timeout is taken here. Vince Hamilton now has 20 points in this basketball game with 2:34 left to play. North Carolina
feeling that all insurance agents are the same.
Hi, how are you? Good. I'd like to take 5 minutes of your time to talk about insurance. I've got a little policy.
At Jefferson Standard, we don't say the same thing to everybody because we know everybody isn't the same. And we won't sell you life insurance until we know enough about your life. In fact, our agents are recognized as spending more time helping you than other agents do.
Of course, if that policy doesn't interest you, this one I'm sure.
Jefferson Standard. We give a little extra.
Now Washington's better.
Way better.
Nashville's better.
Far better.
Los Angeles is better.
Really better.
Now Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
Almost every 7 days, a brand new Holiday Inn hotel opens in the locations you want the most. Better hotels in the best locations. That's why we're number one.
We're number one. We're worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
But it looks like he will not see any more action here this afternoon. They also have some tape on his shin, it looks like. Maybe they just taped the ice pack on there at one time.
North Carolina had done a good job of keeping him quiet today. He, of course, is their leading scorer. And here's a guy who would like to be out here on the floor, Kenny Smith, the sensational freshman for North Carolina, out with a broken left hand. I understand, Fred, that they will be re-examining it tomorrow and maybe changing casts, which will allow him to do even more. He has been practicing with the team.
Give him a little more freedom with the thumb on that hand, and then it's a question of how well he can handle the basketball and what the coaches think he can do. Foul called against Mark Hamill with 2:26 left in the game. First foul on Mark Hamill. North Carolina with a 7-point lead. Well, it's been a struggle for Clemson in ACC play, and right now, if they had scored 7 more points, they would be in second place in the ACC at 7-4. They're 2-10 in last right now, so that's how close it's been for them. Matt Doherty. And a foul called on Mark Campbell again. His second.
Another reason why North Carolina is the #1 team in the country. When you look at them in a situation like this, who do you foul, Fred? As a team, they hit better than 79% from the free throw line. As it is, Clemson send Matt Doherty to the free throw line. He's hitting almost 78%.
Brad Doherty at 69% is the worst free throw shooter on the floor right now, and he's a good free throw shooter. For North Carolina, that is. Sam Perkins 85%, Matt Doherty 78, Brad Doherty 69.
And even though Matt is under the team average, I can remember time after time in playoff situations, real pressure situations, when he's hit some big free throws for North Carolina.
Clemson down by 8 with 2:12 to play. Mark Campbell to Anthony Jenkins, and the shot is good. Anthony Jenkins has 14, 6-point lead to North Carolina with 2 minutes to play. I think Bill Foster may have just been his last timeout. We will check the timeout situation for you. 2 minutes and 1 second left in this game. And timeout has been taken here. So Clemson trying to hang in there, still down by 6 with 2:01 to play. And we're back after this from Budweiser. Fighting as hard as he can to get his ball club back in this ball game. They're down by 6 now. And that's something you just have to like about the whole situation. Here's the team that's last in the conference playing the first place team. And Bill Foster doing everything he can to win a basketball game here now.
I think that's the coach's toughest challenge, is to keep his team ready to play when they've had discouraging moments. And certainly losing 10 in a row, this team has every right to be down, but they've played inspired basketball today. Looks like they're going to be ready for a real challenge in the tournament.
Sam Perkins is fouled by Horace Grant. The second foul on Grant. What a second half Sam Perkins has had. 14 points in the second half. 5 for 6 from the floor. 6 rebounds and 8 for 8 on the free throw line. He has 20 points in the game. North Carolina has hit 13 out of 14 free throws. Sam Perkins is 8 for 8 as he steps to the line right now. Looking for his 21st point. Free throw is good. You do have a time limit to shoot that free throw. And Sam may have been getting into the neighborhood.
Well, Sam's concentration, you can see he takes his time, gets comfortable. Doesn't even look at the basket till he gets the ball in his hands, and then he shoots.
Second one was a miss. His first miss after 9 for 9. 7-point lead, North Carolina, 1:52 to play. Vincent Hamilton wanting a shot, off balance, throws it up. It's too strong. And Steve Hale takes the rebound away for North Carolina. He's fouled by Raymond Jones. So now Hale goes to the line with 1:45 left in the game. You may see some more free throw shot before this game comes to an end. Steve Hale, an 88% free throw shooter. You touched on it. It's just impossible to find somebody to foul on this North Carolina floor. On the club, brother. 9 points now for Steve Hale. He gets them both. Steve Hale has 10 points. 72-63 North Carolina. 1:41 left in the basketball game. Mark Campbell still getting pressure from North Carolina. Anthony Jenkins takes it in the lane. The shot is up and good. Anthony Jenkins now has 16 points. 72-65 North Carolina, and a foul call near midcourt with 1:31 left in the game. Anthony Jenkins committed the foul, his third.
One thing we failed to mention, Fred, about North Carolina also, in addition to being good free throw shooters and an outstanding team, they've got 3 players on the floor right now, Matt Doherty, Michael Jordan, and Sam Perkins, who have played in the national championship and won their national championship. So they know what pressure's all about, and they're the guys that generally come through for them when they need a big point or a big basket.
That's 17 points for Michael Jordan. He's 5 for 5 on the line. And correct me, make it 4 personal fouls on Anthony Jenkins. I told you it was 3. Michael Jordan ready again. Give him 18 points on the afternoon. 1:31 left. North Carolina leading by 9. Clemson needs to score and score quickly. Mark Campbell. Pass is deflected by Michael Jordan. Tar Heels still playing hard. 1:22 left. Horace Grant is fouled by Steve Hale. A foul that North Carolina really did not want to commit. That's the second foul on Hale.
North Carolina appearing to be in control of the game and yet still out double teaming, trying to steal the ball, trying to knock it away.
Horace Grant back to Mark Campbell. He bombs away from long range. It's too strong. Vincent Hamilton, nice fake. Ball knocked loose by Michael Jordan. Doherty to Jordan. And he was fouled and made the shot. Michael Jordan with good plays at both ends of the floor.
And the block at the other end, I believe, by Sam Perkins, knocking the ball out to Matt Doherty. And then, of course, Michael Jordan down at the other end with only Mark Campbell to stop him. Impossible to do.
20 points now for Michael Jordan. He's on the line looking for 21. 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Short with it. Brad Doherty tips it back. Michael Jordan throws it back up. Another foul has been called. A minute 4 left in this contest. Michael Jordan back on the free throw line. Bill Foster arguing at midcourt with one of the officials.
On that last play, Fred, how many times have we seen North Carolina has great instincts on the boards? If they can't grab the rebound, they'll knock it deep. And that time it came back to Michael Jordan. He kept it alive and got back to the free throw line again.
Michael Jordan gets them both, has 22 points, and that's the biggest lead of the ball game. North Carolina now up by 13 points with a minute 4 to play, and Michael Jordan comes out. Dean Smith has seen his club pick up the biggest lead of the afternoon now. Hamilton fires the jumper. Won't fall for him. Hamilton picks it up. Gets to Mark Campbell. Horace Grant back to Campbell. He's going to try it from long range. That one's too strong. Grant trying to keep it alive. Matt Doherty leaps the Clemson bench and comes right back on the court. Anthony Jenkins gets a shot up and it's good. 18 points, Anthony Jenkins. Here's Peterson for the layup. Buzz Peterson scores.
Clemson fighting so hard at one end, didn't see Peterson bust to the basket at the other for the easy layup.
26 seconds left in the game. North Carolina still leading by 13. Anthony Jenkins bombs away and hits and has 20 points. 11-point lead to North Carolina. 15 seconds left in the game. And Steve Hale is fouled. Clock stops with 14 seconds left to play. Timo Mäkinen and Dave Hobson now enter the game for North Carolina. Anthony Jenkins just fouled out of the ball game. He sits down with 20 points on the afternoon. Chris Michael will enter the Clemson lineup with 14 seconds to play. And Steve Hale will step back to the free throw line where he just hit 2. Now, Cliff Morris on the floor for North Carolina. Matt Doherty sits down. Hale's free throw is good. 11 points for Steve Hale.
Fred, one of the things so impressive about North Carolina's string this year is the fact that every time they walk on the floor, they see the same kind of intensity as they've seen today from Clemson. Everybody's gunning for them, trying to knock off the #1 team. Not only the players on the court and the coaches, but the fans in the stadium, and they fill them everywhere they go.
Vince Hamilton's shot won't fall with 7 seconds left in the game. Clemson will get the ball out of bounds under their own basket. Down by 13 points to North Carolina. And the Tar Heels will remain unbeaten in conference play and now go to 24-1 on the season. Vincent Hamilton, a foul was called. I don't think the basket's going to count. Steve Hale was called for the foul away from the play. Number 3 on Hale.
Only the 15th foul on North Carolina, playing aggressive defense, but still not in foul trouble. Chris Michael from the corner.
And there's the end of the ball game. And North Carolina picks up their 24th victory here today. They defeat Clemson 82-71. Again, 82-71. North Carolina, the final score in this ball game, and our most valuable players here in this game are for North Carolina, Sam Perkins, who finished the afternoon with 21 points, and for Clemson, it'll be Vince Hamilton, who had 20 points this afternoon. Holly Farms will contribute $1,000 to the Atlantic Coast Conference to be distributed to the institutions under a conference-approved plan in the names of these 2 players. At the end of the season, each player will receive a plaque from Holly Farms recognizing this honor. Some of the people here that made it possible, another nice effort for North Carolina, Jeff.
Yes, it was. They played extremely well today and met the challenge of a very fired-up Clemson team who came out and battled them for about 3/4 of the game.
Now that you made